Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Well, good morning and thanks for kicking your work week off with us here. I'm Justine Stewart.
And I'm Louis Storch. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. It's a cold and snowy start, Justine.
Yeah, coming off of just what was the same for the weekend. So.
Man, we saw several days. It seemed like it started Thursday or even Wednesday. And every single day all the way up to now, we've seen snow, cold temperatures. These cold temperatures are going to stick around pretty much all week long. We should start to get a little clearing by this afternoon, but then we're going to bring in another system back by the end of the week. So this really active weather pattern looks to stick with us for the next extended period of time. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute. First, though, we have this winter weather advisory still in place anywhere in the purple. That's through 11 a.m. this morning. Snow-covered roads, black ice all around Idaho, western Montana. So give yourself extra time to get where you need to be this morning. Here's your forecast headlines. Now, high pressure is going to start to build in this afternoon. That's why we'll start to clear it out, and it will be drier Tuesday and Wednesday. Very cold, though. Lows on both Monday night and Tuesday night are going to be down to the single digits in teens, some areas even below zero. And then, like I mentioned, we're tracking another system to roll in by Thursday and Friday of this week.
The South Texas community of Sutherland Springs is in mourning after a gunman killed 26 people and wounded several others inside one of the town's churches. CBS's Courtney Zabowski is in Sutherland Springs with the story.
A day after the worst mass shooting in Texas history, investigators are still trying to determine a motive. More than 24 people, including several children, were shot and killed during Sunday services at the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs.
We all in here know what happened today, and it's something we all say does not happen in small communities. Well, we found out today it does.
The victims' ages ranged from 5 to 72 years old.
It was bad. I mean, I tried to help as many people as I could, you know, and it's just, you can't explain it. Your mind doesn't want to grasp it, you know, the shock of it.
The suspect has been identified as Devin Kelly, a 26-year-old Air Force veteran who was discharged for bad conduct 3 years ago. Police say he started shooting before he entered the church, then proceeded to shoot most, if not all, of the people inside.
As he exited the church, a local resident grabbed his rifle. The suspect dropped his rifle and fled from the church. Our local citizen pursued the suspect at that time.
The gunman was followed in his car into a neighboring county and then drove off the road. When police arrived, the man was dead.
We don't know if it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound or if he was shot by our local resident.
Sutherland Springs is a rural community about 35 miles east of San Antonio. On Sunday, a local resident described it as the kind of place where everybody knows everybody, including the people who were killed. Courtney Zabowski for CBS News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
This morning in Japan, President Trump expressed condolences for the victims in Texas, calling their death an act of evil. And we are working to get more information this morning on a fire that happened Sunday at SK Finger Joint Inc. in Libby. SK Finger Joint is located at the old Stimson Lumber Company site. The business opened in 2014 under a former Stimson employee, Dan Keller. At this point, we have limited information on what started that fire, how much damage was done, and how many jobs may have been lost. You can stay with KPAX on air and online as we continue to work to learn more on this developing story. The Frenchtown Rural Fire Department had an extremely busy weekend. They say they normally respond to 1 to 2 calls in 24 hours, but Saturday that changed. They responded to 9 calls, largely due to the hazardous road conditions we had, one of which was for an overturned semi that had been carrying apples. The crash happened on I-90 at mile marker 65 going eastbound. When emergency responders arrived on scene, that semi was leaking diesel from its refrigeration system. Another accident happened on Deep Creek and Southside Road. A vehicle slid down a steep embankment, 200+ feet. In order to reach the vehicle, responders set up a rope rescue system. Once they reached that vehicle, it was unoccupied. According to law enforcement, the driver had gotten himself to the hospital. Public Information Officer Mel Holt says bridges and corners are the biggest concern during the winter.
The other section of the roads, looked okay, so it gave people some kind of false sense that they were okay when they were actually coming up on some black ice.
Despite the more than usual calls, Holt said he had a big thank you for all of those volunteers that helped. Earlier this fall, the University of Montana announced it would not be re-signing more than 300 of its lecturers' contracts. With the reprioritization in the works, lecturers still uncertain of their future at UM.
You know, they aren't tenured, so I mean, they were always in sort of a slightly precarious position, but there was always a feeling of like mutual respect, I think, and I feel like some of them really felt like the university had just turned on them and they didn't understand why.
According to Banville, even after contracts were extended, there is still a lot to figure out. After the university finishes its reprioritization of programs, there could be a need to fill more of these positions, or there could be a need for more cuts. Despite the uncertain circumstances, some of these lecturers continue to put everything they have into educating their students.
We're all kind of numb, you know, walking around numb at that point thinking, huh, and then you process it and talk to family and you think, okay, if this is going to happen, I'm not going to crawl into a hole. I'll be the best I can be. My plan for what happens if is to stay and make the change from within, teach our way out of the mess, and happily do it.
There will be a final meeting tonight at 6 on campus. Over the weekend, there were 2 men that were pheasant hunting near Pendroy when a female grizzly bear approached them along with her 3 cubs. That bear charged at a hunting dog, which then prompted one of the men to shoot in the air and yell at that bear. The bear then proceeded to charge them. At that point, a 60-year-old man shot at the bear. In the state of Montana, it is illegal to shoot a grizzly bear unless it is in self-defense. These hunters were believed to be in danger.
At first, the bear charged the dog, the hunting dog that was with the party, until the gentleman yelled at the bear, and the bear turned and ran towards the gentleman. The hunter then shot in the air, and the bear kept coming. And so he shot the bear in the chest, and then he shot the bear in the face.
Once that bear ran away, the men did call authorities. The Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks still investigating that incident. A hunter can face up to $3,000 in fines or 6 months in jail. Sacramento urges hunters to use bear spray and make a lot of noise and look always for bear tracks when you're hunting. Well, these colder temperatures in the forecast, and that means your pets could be at risk. MTN's Kenneth Webb has some tips on how to protect our four-legged friends from these harsh winter conditions.
If it's really too cold for you, it's too cold for your dog to be outside, and certainly for your cat. So in the winter, it's always advisable just to keep cats indoors.
If you decide to bring your pets outdoors while it's cold outside, here are a few tips on what you need to prepare for.
For short-haired dogs, having a coat or a sweater is useful because they just don't have the warmth from their own coat.
There are many types of coats and sweaters for dogs, so picking out the right one is crucial for your dog's size.
For 0-degree temperatures like coming up next week, number 1, don't be outside too long, but a coat like this would be sufficient.
There are also other ways to keep your four-legged friends safe from the cold.
Protect your dog's feet. You can use booties.
Dogs that have never had them, it's pretty funny to watch them off for the first time.
And you can also use petroleum jelly or sprays that prevent ice from building up in between their toes. The other important thing is increasing your dog's and cat's food intake in the winter because they're burning more calories if they're spending any time outside. Make sure that indoors they have a place where they can dry off and warm up, like a heated bed.
For one dog owner, he tells us the importance of preparing the dogs for colder climates.
Naturally being high energy, it's good to keep the dogs active in colder climates, and it's important to have them prepared for the elements.
So remember to keep our pets safe from the colder temperatures ahead. Reporting from Bozeman, Kenneth Webb, MTN News.
Yeah, some good information there. And speaking of cold temperatures, tonight, tomorrow night, some of the coldest temperatures of the season. Actually, yes, the coldest temperatures of the season so far are going to move in. As many areas going to drop down to the single digits, teens, some places even below 0. And we'll look at that here in just a minute. How about this picture, though? First, sent in to us over the weekend by Sharon. This was down in Victor. First snowfall, at least sticky snowfall, of the year there in Victor. So Sharon, thank you so much for this beautiful shot right there. And we are still seeing snow this morning. We're all still seeing very cold temperatures this morning. 15 in Seeley Lake, 21 Phillipsburg, 28 Hamilton, 24 in Missoula, 19 waking up in Kalispell, 27 Thompson Falls, 25 in St. Regis. And yes, we still have those snow showers falling, just begin to move through Missoula and Hamilton. It looks like we have some snow just to the north of Missoula. Very slippery roads, snow-covered roadways all through the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys. And then we're also seeing snow-covered roadways here in western Montana, with Polson actually getting some moderate snow falling right now. And here is a picture of what it looks like in Polson right now. This is from our St. Joseph Medical Center iCam. You can see the snow falling, reduced visibility, snow on the trees, snows on the road. So again, if you are heading out, give yourself plenty of time to get where you are going for today. Now, it's going to be cold all day long, but we are going to start to see some clearing. So let me show you that here. First, it's going to start to clear out northwestern Montana first. It's going to clear from north to south. So cloudy skies this morning, and then we'll start to even see a little bit of sunshine possible this afternoon in Kalispell. Look at those temperatures though. We're not going to make it out of the 20s for today. Now, Missoula, we're going to see the clouds stick around a little bit longer with some snow possible this morning, cloudy skies through noontime, then maybe a little bit of sun starts peeking through the clouds by 2. Better chance as we get late afternoon and early evening. Only a high of 30 though in Missoula today. Hamilton, we're going to see clouds pretty much throughout the whole day, maybe a little bit of sun by late afternoon with snow this morning, and we're just going to see a high of 32 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast for Missoula. 33, plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Clouds increase on Wednesday as another system is going to bring us in a chance of rain and snow starting by the end of the week. A little bit warmer, highs in the lower 40s. Kalispell, we're going to keep temperatures in the 30s for the next 7 days, again with a slight chance of a rain and snow shower Thursday and Friday. Hamilton, 30s Monday and Tuesday. We'll slowly begin to warm it up into the 40s by the end of the week.
Man, very cold start to this work week.
Yeah, it's been a really cold start to all of November. Temperatures below average. We haven't been even above average, and it looks like that trend is going to continue for the next extended period of time.
All right, well, thanks, Lewis, and make sure you do stick around. We're right back with more, but first, here's some birthday shout-outs for you this morning.